Welcome back. I'm glad to have you here. Happy New Year. And let's start with this question I've been thinking about. I want you to think about this question too, and I want you to answer honestly in your head. Who is your podcast about? Don't worry, I'll wait. My kids are back in school. I got time today. If your first thought was, well, me, you're not alone. And that's how most people start off. And it's not because as podcasters we're selfish. It's because we get overzealous. We're excited. We've got stories, ideas, experience, and we want to share them. This is what I call creator DNA. But here's the little twist that trips people up. Most podcasts don't struggle because the host lacks passion. They struggle because the show is centered around the host instead of the listener. I know that stings a little bit. I know, but we're going to get you right. I've seen this play out so many times. Someone hits record and every episode turns into what I learned this week, or here's what I'm thinking about lately, or just a freestyle vent session. And it's not that any of it is bad. It's just unpredictable. Your listener never really knows what they're tuning in for and what's in it for them. Some days the topic is about motivation. Some days it's storytelling. And some days it's just you processing life out loud. And they slowly stop showing up. Not because they don't like you, but because they can't figure out, how does this all apply to me? So let's flip this on its head. Imagine a listener pressing play and thinking, this show always helps me with the exact thing I'm dealing with. That's when podcasts grow. Not because you suddenly became better, but because your focus shifted from here's what I want to talk about to here's what my people need today. And here's the part most podcasters skip. You actually have to know who those people are. Not vaguely, not anyone who wants inspiration. Who actually needs you. New creators feel stuck. Busy parents trying to build something at night. Entrepreneurs drowning in overthinking. Once you know who they are, your episodes start to sound a bit different. You catch yourself saying things like, if you've been wrestling with this, or, okay, if this is where you are, here's your next step. And now you're guiding and not just talking at people. And yes, this is where a podcast plan comes in. A real plan answers key questions like, who am I talking to? What problem am I committed to helping them solve? What roles does my podcast play in their life? And what kind of episode supports that mission? Without that clarity, the truth of the matter is you're just winging it. And when you wing it, the podcast quickly becomes random. Episodes drift, themes blur, and you start wondering why growth feels slow. But with a plan, you sit down and you record and you already know, okay, this episode is for the listener who feels stuck. And by the end, they're going to feel clearer and have an action step. Now that you're intentional, your audience will feel it. So here is a simple challenge for your next episode. Write this down. Think of one specific listener, picture them, and name them if you need to. Ask yourself, what are they struggling with this week? And what's one thing I can help them move forward on? Then build the episode around that. Not around your mood, not around the last inspirational quote you saw, but around their next step. Your podcast isn't failing, guys. It's just not aimed properly. Give it direction, create with someone in mind, and build it on a plan that actually supports them and you. Because once your show becomes less about you and more about the people who need you, everything changes. You guys, I am Dani Marie. If that was helpful, please share it with a friend. Like, comment, subscribe, leave a review. I need your feedback. I need to know who's listening. Shout out to all of you who are listening, many of which are coming from our podcast community, Plan to Podcast on Facebook. You can also visit the link plantopodcast.com for more information. If you still haven't started your podcast and you're interested in getting started, we have materials on that same website to help you get clarity. And I will forever be a big proponent of a podcast plan. So we do have a podcast planner that helps you flush out your ideas and turn your ideas into a clear roadmap for your podcast journey. Come back next week. We're talking a lot this year about mindset shifts, and a lot of it is centered around planning in order for you to get through some of the mental gymnastics and mental hurdles that you experience. Again, I'm Dani Marie, your podcast coach, your podcast bestie, the strategist, and I will talk to you next week on Plan to Podcast. Bye.